Tom Pincince alongside legends. We're going to call you legends. No. Members of our 2015 softball NEC championship team. Laura Messina up in the top corner there, coming to us from New Jersey. Eileen Purcell down on the bottom there, also coming from New Jersey, and she's in the green room. Right, everything is green. Is that what?
Yeah, everything.
There you go. Kat Malcom coming to us from North Carolina, and of course, head coach Bre Gleason. That's the only time I'll call you Brianne, I promise, during this.
Thanks, Tom.
We'll go with Bre from now on. So first of all, thank you guys very much for joining us. We've done a few of these so far, and we're trying to get some of the best teams that we've had, and of course some people that will talk to us. So that's where Laura Messina comes in. Where we're hoping is that I don't need to edit this when we're finished and put in the beep. So I think Coach Messina will be able to do that.
No promises, but we'll see.
No promises. First, again, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it, and we'll start with Bre. And it's obviously been a tough spring, and we're going through things that we haven't gone through before. And yourself and Laura too, coaching up at the school about half an hour away. We won't mention the school, but of not having that spring season, but to see these guys on the screen here, what are the memories come back for you? What's one of the first things you think about?
I think one of the first things I think about is when we were down at Elon in 2015, and I had to go tell the team that we weren't going to play our first game of the year, and everybody started crying, and Laura decided that the season was over, that we were never going to play. So that's probably the first thing that came to my mind when we bring up the 2015 season. And then everything that happened from there was it was like a dream. It was the best season that I've ever been a part of. It was the best group of people that I've ever been a part of. Obviously these three were huge in both of our championships, but especially that 2015 one. And I've just been thinking about it since we decided to do this, and there's so many memories. I don't even know where to start, to be honest.
Eileen, what do you think about when you think about 2015? It's 5 years ago. It's 5 years ago now. So you guys are, yeah.
I think what made it really special was 2013, we were really good. And then 2015, what made it special is we had to work so much harder, I thought, for it compared to 2013. So it just felt really, really good when we won that year.
Is it harder to win when there's expectations? I think maybe.
I think so. I think there was a bit of, pressure, 2014, 15, yeah. But we definitely had to work harder for it.
Kat, what are your thoughts when you think about 2015?
2015 was exactly what Eileen said. It was hard. 2013, we racked up points, and it came a lot easier. There wasn't, I can't lie, I went back and I watched some of the highlights from 2015 in the conference.
I do it all the time.
And all I remember is each game was just hard. We had to grind it out every single inning, and we still got it done. So it's all good feelings. But it wasn't easy.
Laura, how about you?
Well, going back to what Bre said, not only did we miss out on our first game at that tournament, we missed out on our entire first weekend, and I cried so much. And I also wore my softball socks around for 2 days because I was so mad that we weren't playing. But like Eileen and Kat said, it was really hard. I think that our sophomore 2013, I think, was a little bit easier because we weren't expected to win. None of us thought we were going to win. We had a little bit of a turnaround weekend after we played at Hofstra. Got chewed out a little bit. I
thought Laura, I broke Laura that tournament.
I did it. I don't know. I still have nightmares about that tournament. The whole fence that just kept going over the fence and over the fence and over the fence.
Sounds like the championship in 15.
Yeah, 15 again.
Something like that. I think the expectation to win in 14 and 15 was a lot harder, and I think that, I don't want to say we didn't have as much talent, but we didn't hit as many home runs. So yeah. It's I gave up a lot of home runs, and then we weren't hitting the home runs. So it was very difficult.
Do you remember how many you gave up in 15? I bet you do.
In the entire season?
Yeah.
I gave up 84 home runs in my career.
Did you
So,
really?
Yep. I think 24.
I think it is exactly 24.
Oh my gosh, that's impressive, Laura.
And I called up the stats too. So when I put in the crossword puzzle last week, every single pitching record ever, I wasn't lying. So like home runs allowed is probably up there too. Is that what?
I mean, that's got to be like an NCAA record too.
I imagine it's close. We'll have to. We only pitched 97% of the innings when she came to Central, so I don't. The possibility.
97.5.
The possibility of giving up some home runs is there.
Yep.
I want to fast forward to the tournament that year, and I'm going to do it for selfish reasons because that was the year that I had the opportunity to drive out to Pittsburgh, and as I was leaving, it's 5 years ago now, so my kids were 11 and 10, I think, at the time, and really just getting into softball. They had been playing, so we said, you know what, we're going to take you guys out of school and put you in the car and drive you out to Pittsburgh. And I thought, awesome, this is a great opportunity, right? Dad, 2 daughters, spend the weekend together, great bonding time. You guys were practicing on the field, and we pulled up to the field, and my kids got out of the car, and then I saw them again 3 days later because you guys stole them and you put them on the bus and you brought them to meals, and they were in the dugout, and they had shirts that we then washed with the uniforms, and their white shirts became brown shirts, I think they might still have them. But the weekend was amazing. You guys didn't lose a game. We got close, and in day 2, we won that first game, and then we thought it was awesome, and then the other pitcher go out and throw a no-hitter the next game or something like that. It was like, oh, great, we played a close game, awesome game, dramatic game, and then of course overshadowed by the no-hitter after that.
He lost that game. Sly threw a no-hitter and lost to LAU.
Oh, right.
No, she threw a no-hitter against FDU and then lost it.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. It's better the way I said it.
Yeah.
So I want to share a picture. So I'm going to share the screen. I have no idea if this is going to show up on the video or not. All right. So here's the picture that I'm going to share. So these are my two. You guys can see this.
Yes.
So these are my 2 girls, and I have tons of pictures from that weekend, and we didn't Photoshop Evie Rensel into any of these pictures, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But these are my 2 older daughters who spent the weekend as back girls for you guys, and of course on the bus. So that's Sophie with Kat, and Isabella is with Laura in this picture. And if we can time this up the right way, it's 11:15. They're supposed to be walking into the room right now, but they're not coming in like they're not supposed to. But to me, that weekend was about me and the girls, but also the opportunity for them to see you guys and how you performed, not only as student athletes, but really as mentors for young girls everywhere. So, what do you guys remember about that weekend? It doesn't have to be I'm not asking you to talk about my daughters. I'm asking you what you remember from that weekend specifically. Laura, we'll start with you.
Oh my God, the emotions. Me and Kat were roommates, so Kat had to deal with. I mean, not that she didn't have emotions too, but she had to deal with all my emotions. We would wake up every morning at like 5:30 and be like, "Oh my God, we're so nervous. We're so nervous. What time can we go down to breakfast? Do you think we're gonna have breakfast right now? What do we do? What do we do?" And I was like, "Kat, are we gonna win? Are we gonna win? We're gonna win, right? We're gonna win." Like that's literally the conversation we had every single morning, and like just the nerves were unreal. Like I would love to go back and play, but
So how did you go from somebody who's nervous about breakfast and whether you're going to win and what's going to happen to somebody who won 100 games on the mound? And I mean,
he was nervous the whole time, Tom.
Yeah.
Every game, every inning, didn't matter who we were playing, what the score was. She's like, "Are we gonna win?
Yeah.
The whole time.
I always got one of the things that I always took away from watching you pitch, and we mentioned giving up home runs, and I don't mean to harp on that, but like someone would hit a home run out for you, and you would sit there and look at everybody and be like, "Nah, whatever, let's go." Like the next batter.
Sorry, that's my dog. He just said about the home runs.
Well, the one thing that I've noticed now being 5 years out of college is that the one thing I'm really good at and was always good at is pitching. And I'm not really sure if I can find something that I'm as good at and as confident about. I mean, I love coaching, and I think that I'm getting good at it. And hoping to be as good of a pitching coach one day as Bre was for me, or as Bre is, sorry. But
Thanks, Laura.
for me, she was especially good, I think. But when I pitched, I don't know, like, yes, I was nervous, but channeling the nerves to, strike people out and to, I would give up the home run, but I would hopefully try to strike out the next 3 people to make up for, the 4-run bomb I just gave up. And then, trust Kat and Eileen and everybody else to get hits and score runs. I mean,
I think it made it easier to calm down when you would turn around and Eileen would be just looking at a butterfly and then make one of the most ridiculous plays up the middle that anybody's ever seen, where their 80-year-old glove on her hand.
Still have it. Still use it.
I bet you do.
That team, you knew everybody had your back. Like that was the biggest thing about the championship game too. Everybody had your back. Eileen and Tori, every single pitch at the end of the game will come in and be like, okay, you got this, focus, keep the ball low. And then I would throw the ball high and it would go over the fence. And then they would look at me, and Eileen like just crouched down, and I was like, oh God.
Because that game finished, I think 9-8 was the final score in that game. So it's not your typical, 2 teams playing for the championship type game, because I think everyone had played a lot of softball at that point in time. And Kat, what do you remember about that weekend?
So to be honest, I don't remember much about the entire weekend. I really remember just that last game. And the one thing that really stands out to me is, I think, honestly, I don't know what inning, maybe 6 or 7. I'm standing in the outfield, and I remember looking over and I see somebody warming up in the bullpen. For the life of me, don't remember who it was, but I'm like, oh my God. Like, it hit me then that if we don't win this game, we have to play them again. And it's hot as heck out. Laura's arm's going to fall off. I'm going to pass out from heat exhaustion. Like, we have to finish this.
Eileen had a sinus infection.
Yeah.
Like, I just
and
remember
at that point in the game, there's no Evie, right? Because Evie had gone to the hospital at that point in time, and the championship photo, while it's not on the wall right now because of the construction that happened, we had to, Evie wasn't there at the end, so we had to Photoshop her into that championship photo at the end. So not only having to play another game, but having to play another game, without Evie. And I don't know who. I think only one other person pitched an inning that year, Bre, right? Is Emily Sargent the only other one who pitched an inning?
I think so, and I think it was 1 inning.
Yeah, that's wild.
All year?
No, she pitched midweek. She would pitch one of the doubleheaders, right? I think. Yeah.
So Laura finished that year 27-10. She pitched 257 innings. Emily Sargent pitched 47.
Wow.
47 innings that year. So
it was hard to not put Laura in because, games that maybe a midweek that didn't matter as much, Laura was still sitting behind me on a bucket going, put me in, put me in, put me in, put me in. So to get her off my back, I would just put her in and let her throw.
She just made that up. That's not true. I did not do that. I did really want to pitch, though.
Yeah, I find that really hard to believe. Eileen, what do you remember about that weekend?
Like Kat said, not much. I remember the last game and saying to Laura, like, after every single pitch, stay focused over and over and over. And I remember thinking,
you or for Laura?
I remember thinking, like, I literally cannot play another game. We need to win this game. And then, thank God we did, because I was like, how are we going to play another game right now?
It was hot. We got dogs. We got dogs everywhere in this. Going on.
Not the Messina house.
I just texted my daughters and said, "Are you coming in?" And their response was, "I guess so." So see if they actually walk in the door here, as they peek in from behind. Oh, here they come. All right. So just come in and say hello.
Hi. Hey guys.
So this is, I can't do which side we're on. So these are the two that were in the dugout.
Hey,
so much
that makes me feel old.
Oh my God, you guys are so old.
And tall.
So old.
Oh, they can't hear you. Hang on. Go ahead.
So old, and that means that we're so old.
Yeah.
It does mean that. Yes, it does mean that. Yeah. So Isabella, who's here, was going to be a sophomore. Now, obviously, they haven't played anything yet this spring. But Isabella, as a freshman, was the MVP of her high school team last year, and then this one. who mashes like crazy from the plate, like Kat Malcom was ready to play her freshman year, but now they're still waiting to see what's going to happen. So, and they're both how tall are you? They're both about 5'6", 5'7".
Nice.
So they're not small anymore. Bree's got them on the board, so we'll see what
Oh
happens.
yeah. Ready for the roster.
Yeah. All right, you can go. Thanks. All right, you can go. Thank you.
They ran out of there.
Oh, they wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. So, and the fact that I put their pictures up before, they're not going to be happy about that. But, oh well, suck it up. So what else? Laura, what's the difference between coaching and playing? And have you, in the last few years, have you started to think like, oh my God, I really must have been such a pain to coach, or
the main difference is the control. There's no control. Like, you can call pitches, you can want something to happen, you can practice for something to happen, and it never happens the way you want it to happen. It never happens the way you think it's going to happen. And I think that's the most frustrating thing. I think that I was an angel. So I mean, compared to, and my pitchers now would say that too. Like we call them psychopaths. They're psychopaths. And I think that, like, that's the people think that that's what pitchers are, but I feel like I was great.
Great, Bree.
I mean, the only time I've ever had to worry about what was coming out of a pitcher's mouth, not a pitcher's hand, was with Laura. So I'll take that problem any day over having to worry about what's going to come out of their hand.
What was it, Kat? What was it like knowing that somebody like Laura was going to be in the circle every game and give you guys a chance to win every single time that you went on the field?
Relieving. It was every time I saw her step in the circle, it was just, okay, we got this. Laura's going to do her part, and we're going to do what we got to do. Like, there was, I mean, obviously there were times that I was like, all right, they're probably going to hit some home runs, and they're going to make it difficult, but, you know, we've got it, because Laura's ability to keep things under control and stay calm, on the outside at least, it was just relieving. There was never like a pressure or stress. It was just, she's in the circle, she's going to do what she's got to do, and we're going to back her up.
Laura, how about having these two behind you, directly behind you all of that time? What did that mean to you?
Well, Kat and I spent a lot of time together. We were in classes together. So, you know, our conversations every single day revolved only around softball. And we had a little sign to each other. So
Don't do it.
being able to turn around and look back at both of them. Should I do it?
No, don't do it.
Being able to look back after every single pitch, I would look back at Kat and we would sign something or say something or just laugh. And Eileen was always there to tell me to stay focused. And beyond that, they were both amazing players. So it was just so easy to be like, okay, well, I'm going to pitch the ball. They're going to catch the ball. Eileen's going to make some ridiculous play up the middle and save the game. I don't know. Like, it was just unreal. Sorry, Eileen, about the ground balls, but yeah, I try and give them to you now during the alumni game, and it doesn't work out.
That doesn't go well.
And, you know, Kat robbing dingers and stuff in the NEC tournament, like, that's just, you don't always get that out of your teammates, and I just trusted the entire team 100%, and it was amazing to be able to do that.
Bree, what do you remember about that weekend?
That weekend was one of the most exciting weekends of my life. I would live it again over and over and over again if I could. I think I slept a total of 2 hours that weekend. It was a mix between nerves and excitement and all of the Americanos I was drinking from Starbucks.
Like a stomach ulcer, didn't you?
I did. I was very stressed. You know, I feel like watching how hard that team worked, I knew that they deserved to win and they should win. And I knew it was my job to put them in a position to win. So I took that really seriously, because not just the three of them in this group right now, but that whole team, you know, when you walked in the weight room or you walked into a practice, they were never the kind of team to be like, oh, we got ranked first, we're going to win. We have Laura, we have Kat, we have Eileen, we're going to be fine. We felt like an underdog team all year. And I knew that going into that weekend, they deserved to win that tournament. And I couldn't sleep knowing that this was it with this group. You know, it was win or go home and never have them play for me again. So it was exciting. But I remember that breakfast, Laura, on the championship day where I woke up at 5, I ironed my polo, and I went downstairs at 5:15, and Kat and Laura were already eating their like third breakfast. And they're like, what time are we leaving? What time are we going? I'm like, not for like 6 hours, guys. But just that, even like just the warm up and then the game, and all of a sudden we were down by 5 and I didn't know what happened. And then Evie dives into second base and breaks her nose, and all of a sudden the shortstop from LIU makes a throwing error, which never happens. And the momentum kind of shifted in our direction. And I just remember that in slow motion, Kat hitting that triple. Was it Mulholland in center field that dove? It would have been an amazing catch. She was this close, and all of a sudden it's a triple, and we go ahead. And I remember clapping as hard as I could. I think I broke my fingers, and just looking up at the scoreboard and being like, I think we're gonna win. It was unbelievable. I have chills right now just thinking about it.
Agreed.
What's your best memory of playing softball at Central? Eileen, we'll start with you. If you could pick one, and somebody asked you about playing in your career, what is it that you would talk about?
Definitely winning. 2013 and 2015. Probably more 2015 just because it was so much harder. For some reason, 2013, I'm just like, we're going to win. I don't know why, but like, they're going to hit home runs. All the other girls are going to hit home runs, and we're just going to win. Laura's going to pitch well. But 2015, same thing. Like, always knew Laura was going to do well, but like, it was us who had to perform in the field and hit to like, no, we're actually going to do well too. So it's just not confident, but like as sure, because we had to definitely work harder.
Kat, what do you remember? Or if you could pick one.
I mean, I'd have to pick that final game too, because like I said, I don't remember much from 2013, but similar to what Eileen just said, like between Nicole Springer and Kelsey and Ariel, like everybody hit home runs. So it was just inevitable that we were going to score and win. Well, yeah. But in 15, there was no guarantee of that. You know, we had to genuinely work hard, and just that last game was, you know, when you look up at the scoreboard and you see 5-0, you're like, oh, all right, this is how it's going to be. Like, but slowly but surely, you know, we made things happen, and LIU made uncharacteristic errors, and it was a team effort, and it just felt so good. And yeah, I'll remember that game forever.
Coach Messina?
I mean, I have to agree. I think that the coolest part about 2015 championship was that it was a full team effort. Like the best feeling in the world, just knowing that although I pitched so terribly, that the team had my back the entire time. We went down 5 runs. I don't remember, I'm sure I was nervous, but I don't remember being that nervous. I do remember you were standing next to me, and I remember looking at you and saying, we're going to win, right? We're going to win, right? We're going to win, right? And you were like, I don't know, like, are you going to be better? Like, and I'm pretty sure you said those exact words to me. So, but I do, like, like I said, I watch the highlights all the time, and we actually watched them as a family literally the other day because we were trying to watch the game and it wasn't coming up, and I'm really angry about it. But it just was crazy that at the very end of the game, like the bottom of the 7th inning, we're down 1 run. We have the bottom of the lineup up, and they come through. Like, what? And not that it didn't happen all season, but it didn't really happen all season. And our team chose that weekend to come through so huge that, I mean, you can't ask for anything more, and we worked they worked so hard for that. And I think that having it all come together at the very end was huge.
Right. I'll never forget that weekend. It was, you know, for me, it was personal and professional all at the same time for that weekend. The one softball memory that I will always remember and never forget, and I wasn't even there, was you walking out of the circle against LSU. And I think the standing ovation from the LSU fans when you walked out, win or lose in that game, I think that's what, you know, that personifies I think what you guys did in your careers. And I know that was 2 years before, but to see an opposing fan base, and we saw something similar last year in Arkansas when we went with baseball, which was one of the crazy experiences, you know, my professional career. But to see that happen and to watch that happen, I think was crazy cool to watch that take place.
I was going to say, I think that LSU just in general, that like winning the first time, because there was so much hype around it was the first NEC win. I think that was huge too. And LSU was just such a cool place and like had the best fans and the best everything. Like there was nothing about that trip that I didn't like besides losing so bad the last game, but it was just like, I went back there 2 years ago when I coached at Fordham because we won, and it just like the best vibes, the best place. I mean, I get chills when I think about it. I'm a huge LSU fan now just because that was a great experience.
Say in my Twitter timeline every once in a while an LSU tweet pops up and it's like, why is this popping up? And then you look above it and it says like Laura Messina liked, and that's where it comes from.
Yep.
But listen, thank you guys for taking the time out of your days. Kat, I know you're saving the world with the federal government here. We appreciate you guys taking the time out and you know, spending a few minutes with us just to talk about that season and what it meant to you. And you know, Coach, thank you for taking the time and sitting down with us. And anything else that you guys want to add before we end this? Laura, you've done good so far, so don't curse at the end.
I'll just keep my mouth shut then.
Just be quiet. All right. Well, ladies, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You know, we'll post this sometime next week for everybody to see and have the opportunity to hear from you guys and that memorable 2015 season. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.